All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and I would gladly would love to welcome back the legendary Percee P right here from Stone Throw Records, right here live on the line for the second time. How you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing? I appreciate you inviting me again on the show.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome. It's definitely an honor just to be able to chop it up with you, Percee. I remember the last interview, man, we touched base on a lot of amazing stuff, man. So I got a whole new gang of questions, actually, the stuff that I didn't touch base on last interview, man. So it's definitely going to be an honor to chop it up with you tonight.
Okay, let's go.
But I know you're a busy guy, so I'm going to dive right into this. But in the late 1980s, you were actually a member of the amazing hip-hop duo titled Top Priority. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners the story behind this iconic duo.
Okay, my man, my best friend, my man Denique, Patterson Housing Project as well, so we both grew up there. And, in '88, we both was rhyming together. We actually had a battle. When we first met, we battled each other. So in the project, we clicked up. And how we wound up actually making the record, Let the Homicides Begin, because another guy from the housing project who passed away, though, was Aaron D. Aaron D lived next to my building. So basically, when he got hooked up, we got hooked up with the label, with the Gotham City Records. He got hooked up with them and was going to the studio, Power Play Studio, and Ivan DJ Doc Rodriguez was engineering all the sessions. So me and Denique used to go with him to the studio all the time. And I guess when Aaron was dealing with the label Gotham City, they were listening to the music that he was creating. And I guess he told them about me and my partner, and they told him, well, if them guys could come up with a good song, I'll put it on the record. So we already met Ivan DJ Doc from just going to the studio already with Aaron, so he engineered our first record, Let the Homicides Begin, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So, and when the first time that song got played, it was DNA, Hank Love, 105.9, WNWK, and then Red Alert picked it up on Kiss FM, and that was like mainstream commercial radio, so it started growing up there. So that's the history of that song,
And if I'm not mistaken, that was actually the compilation vinyl, BQ in Full Effect, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, BQ in Full Effect stood for Bronx, Queens in Full Effect. And also, that compilation also had the Live Squad on it. So the Live Squad, they was on that. They had like 2 songs on that. Aaron D had 3. And me and Denique had our 1 song. So that's how, And actually, and it's crazy how when you look at the Live Squad Wikipedia, it also says that how I was mentioned in there, Wikipedia, saying that Percee P feature also on our first recording on the EP, BQ in Full Effect. You know what I'm saying? They wound up working with like Tupac and Digital Underground. But anyway, back to the Percee P story.
And I have to ask as well, man, because I did notice that I noticed that you guys Priority didn't really actually release a lot of music together. If you don't mind me asking, what actually made you guys decide to not actually release any more projects?
Because I know Denique stopped rapping. He stopped rapping. He went more to like singing and stuff like that. So I kept going. So the DJ that we had already was E. Kim. So it became Percee P and E. Kim. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that name, when I got on Big Beat Records, because I wound up getting a deal on Big Beat was Lord Sear, invited me to their show when Stretch and Bobbito, first radio station, when they first was on WKCR, I was one of the first guests on the show. The second show that they ever had on the air, I was invited to. I didn't come for the third show. Lord Sear was like, yo, what's up? I thought you were going to come down. People, you still welcome to come. You're going to come. So I came through on the third show on the air, which you can see in their movie. The movie Radio That Changed Lives, the footage that you see me rhyming, that's the first time I was down there. That's the third show. The show is, all the footage in that movie is actually documented. So it said November 29th, 1990. So that was me rhyming with Lost Professor. We rhyming together. And we actually met at Pete Rock House. So, you know what I'm saying? But we was rhyming together, and it's crazy about the footage in that movie is that the rhyme that I was saying in 1990 became my verse that you hear in the song Yes You May, that I did with Lord Finesse on his album, his Return to Funky Man album. They got the Hip Hop Quotable in the Source magazine for that verse. And the rhyme that Large Professor was saying on the Stretch and Barbito show was the verse that he said on the song Live at the Barbecue that featured Nas for the first time and Akinelli and them. So both of us said rhymes together on their show before they actually recorded on the vinyl.
And also, as well, while we're actually on the topic of Lord Finesse, in 1989, you actually had the opportunity to battle him, and there's actually a DVD out there called SBX that actually has some of that footage. But aside from the footage, can you actually tell our listeners the story behind that rap battle? And of course, how did that actually come to be for both of you guys?
Okay, if anybody out there, if y'all been going on to my Instagram page, the actual anniversary was just July 13th. July 13th was May 33rd anniversary of that rap battle. So if you go on my Instagram page, which is the real Percee P, if you go back to July 13th, you'll see I always commemorate that day. But I'll show the people who was involved. I'll show Tony Webb, he instigated that battle. He's from the project as well, where I'm from. But he was good friends with Finesse, so he just basically told him about me, how I take him out, and everybody from his era as far as projects in the Bronx, which Diamond D, Fat Joe was from. But also he would come back to the project and this cat from Forest said everybody in Patterson, he came in from one man, Percee P. So he just, instigating it, but everybody friendly. It wasn't like animosity when we met. So we both was curious when we met each other. It was like, yeah. So we was on the other side of my project, on the south side of my project. So my man Dave Gonzalez, who I also put in the footage on the post of the July 13th, I got footage of him. He's the guy who videotaped that battle. So I gave everybody credits. Every year I do that, so people could know who's behind it, besides just me and Lord Finesse. So, but yeah, Dave said, hold on, let me go get my camcorder. So we went to the other side of the project, the north side, which is my side, in front of his building, and we went, it was like 315, building 315, and that's where we stood in front of waiting for him to come down. He got the camcorder, and the rest was history. And the tapes, Danique was the guy, if you look at the actual footage, he's wearing the big rope chain. He had the radio, and that's Danique. He was playing tape, because I always used to carry beat tapes in my pocket, like, funky drummer and break beats. So he just kept wanting funky drummer. James Brown back. So every verse that we were going to say, me and Lord Finesse would say, he would just wind it back to the beginning and start it, and then he'd just start the verse like that. And Dave just taped everybody rapping,
And since actually you just mentioned July 13th was actually the anniversary of that notorious rap battle, and I do, as you already know, a lot of individuals are doing the whole versus thing. If that actually came up, and of course Lord Finesse and yourself would actually want to do that, would you be willing to actually kind of like do an anniversary rap battle?
Yeah, we already did that. Me and him, that was dope, because me and him are good friends. You know what I'm saying? So me and him, we thought to go to Europe. We actually, the first time me and Lord Finesse ever was booked together was June 21st, 2014. It's in Bristol, UK. That one show was so packed because that's the first time in history. After all those years from 1989, nobody would think to book us. So Bristol, UK was the first people ever worldwide to say we want to book Percee P and Lord Finesse. So that on that day, June 21st, 2014, that was the day. So that show was packed, so packed that December 2014, me and him did a Europe tour together. Like 6 shows where we was all over in Europe. We went to like Berlin and different spots like that. But on that post, you'll see footage from the tour too. I put footage of like our show in Amsterdam and Berlin in that one post, because like 10 slides. So I used some videos as well as still shots. But yeah, them shows was packed. All shows was like sold out, packed shows and stuff. And so basically, we already kind of did that. We just did it for the fans. It wasn't like we was on the road with animosity. It was more like we giving the fans something to, because I feel like this. Nobody really pushed that battle. I feel that battle was pre-YouTube era. Most rap battles, if they was battles, was audio. Our battle was video. We caught the whole thing on video. So, and look now, nowadays you have like online battle rap battles, leagues, and stuff going on, but that battle that we had is hardly mentioned. That, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, but it's just a different era. So I feel like with us, even like a battle like Versus, it would be a good way to promote us in a way, not putting animosity, but promoting our legacy, which we contributed to a lot of, I guess, if people want to give credit or not. You know what I'm saying? So that would be good. It'd be good for me. I mean, but Lord Finesse is doing well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sticking to more rapping, but it'll still highlight that battle and give more acknowledgement in history, and maybe people dig more into our history and have more appreciation for our contributions. You know, even at the museum, just that Universal Hip Hop Museum, like you would think that battle should be mentioned even in that, but it's really not. I'm not saying it won't ever be, but just so stuff like that Versus definitely highlights artists to the point where fans definitely have more appreciation for you, you know?
And also, as well, in the year '92, yourself and DJ E. Kim actually released the collaborative 12-inch vinyl single titled "Now They Want to See Me" on Big Beat Records. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this phenomenal project, and of course, what was it like just being in the studio working alongside Kim?
Well, you know, he's my DJ. We went to school together in junior high. So basically, on the song "Now They Want to See Me," I wrote his verse. I wrote the verse for him. All the songs was me rapping, but on that particular song, I wrote the verse and said it on a slow beat for him to learn how to say it before we actually went in the studio and recorded the song. So that's how that song went up. And, you know, we recorded all the songs in Power Play Studio, the same studio we recorded Let the Homicides Begin. You know what I'm saying, with Ivan DJ Doc Rodriguez. But, yeah, it was in Long Island City, New York. So, yeah, the song, that EP, that was a maxi single. So it contained "Now They Want to See Me," then "Putting Heads to Bed," and "Lung Collapse and Lyrics." And "Putting Heads to Bed" was produced, and "Lung Collapse and Lyrics," both songs was produced by Todd Ray, a.k.a. T-Ray. And T-Ray is the producer. I introduced T-Ray, Lord Finesse to T-Ray. I introduced Lord Finesse to him. Before Lord Finesse was actually a producer, I remember he was looking for a single, a follow-up single for his song, for the album, Return of the Funky Man album. But the next song was A Party Over Here and the Yes You May remix. Those two songs was produced by T-Ray. You know what I'm saying? The Party Over Here remix. And the Yes You May remix was produced by T-Ray. You know what I'm saying? And T-Ray produced my Lung Collapse and Lyrics, but the Yes You May remix featured Big L on it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And also T-Ray produced the song Back to the Grill for MC Search and songs for like Double X Posse and groups like that.
And I have to say as well, what was it like just working alongside a then very young Big L?
Working with who?
Big L.
Oh, Big L? Yeah, Big L. Well, before I actually moved to the West Coast, I used to live a few blocks away from Big L. And, you know, I'm done from the Bronx, but I was living in Harlem before I actually moved out to California. And Big L lived a few blocks away, and he knew it. Herb McGruff knew. You know, I was kind of low key. I was still hanging in the Bronx, but I would come to Harlem. You know, go home to Harlem, and just, you know. But Big L was cool. Big L used to tell me all the time. He used to tell Finesse, "Yo, man, I want to be P," because I was quotable. I was out before the Yes You May remix. My song got the quotable in the Source magazine. So I guess when he met Finesse, he used to tell me to ask him, "Yo, I want to meet personally." You know, so when he found out I was living in Harlem, and we met. The first time I met Big L though was at a show. This was the show. I forgot the name of the venue, but this was the lineup. I know it had X-Clan, Gangstar, Showbiz, and AG, and Lord Finesse. And Lord Finesse, instead of us, me and AG coming out to do Yes You May, he had me and Big L come out to just spit a verse. You know what I'm saying? Like on the stage, like a freestyle, 16 bars, and spit something like that. So that's the first time I met Big L. Then, and then we just had a relationship. He had my number, used to call. He could call me, "Yo, let me hear a little something." So that's stuff that people didn't really know too much. Even Lord Finesse, like on my post, I post Lord Finesse talking about this. And I don't know if people go on my page, you'll hear it. I have a post where you hear Lord Finesse talking about his very first production. for him making beats. And his first production, he said, was the song for Trespass movie. The movie that You Know What I'm About, the song You Know What I'm About for the Trespass movie soundtrack. And the song, the hook goes, knock it off, knock it out, you know what I'm about. That's me and Big L singing the chorus to that. And Lord Finesse, in his words, he's saying it. I knew this for years, but I just never was talking about it. But Lord Finesse put that out there, so I used that for him because he's kind of teaching people about my history as well, behind the scenes, stuff that people probably never knew that I was a part of, or stuff that I was supposed to be a part of that never actually materialized. Like Back to the Grill, like I recorded to be on that song, and that never came out. With me, I dropped the verse in the studio with MC Search and, not MC Search, with Outta and Nas. We all spit rhymes, and the Riddler. And when the song came out, I wasn't on the song, but, that it happens sometimes. But I just know, I know I ain't spitting nothing wet, but it's like that. So I use my social media platform to maybe highlight myself and tell some of the untold stories that maybe people probably never knew. And some of my accomplishments that's probably never being recognized, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, giving me an opportunity to let people know what's up.
And I got to say, it's definitely an honor, man, first and foremost, because I had the opportunity to kind of grow up on your music and whatnot. Now I get to be the individual to help you tell your story so many years to come. It's kind of like full circle, man. Your music got me through a lot of difficult times. Now I get to help you push your music and tell your stories, man. So I gotta say, I definitely love just this full circle experience. It's truly an honor.
Well, that's an honor as well. I appreciate it, and the fact that you're from another continent, from Canada, North America, but at the same time, it's the idea that it's like, wow, I'm outside of the United States gaining knowledge on this level, you know what I'm saying? And this is worldwide. So nowadays, being interviewed is like worldwide, anybody can hear you. So that's what's up. I appreciate that opportunity, and shout out to my man from your home, from where you from, Toronto, legendary Maestro Flesh West, which I also had the pleasure of working with him. You know what I'm saying? Canadian hip hop legend, So shout out to him.
And also as well, in the year 2001, you actually released, in my personal opinion, the best album to actually come out in the new millennium was actually titled Now and Then, that actually had a rhyme side and an inspector side rather than your typical A and B. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners the story behind this self-released album, and of course, where can we actually listen to it today in 2022?
Well, you talking about like the CDs and stuff?
I mean, like I kind of like CDs or like streaming services.
Well, stuff like CDs. People hit me online, DM me or email me, and I could still probably make those, duplicate those, and I push them and get it to the people that way. But that was stuff that I was doing that just to preserve my name and legacy. At that time, even though I made records, there was periods of my career where I wasn't actually signed. So that was my way to maintain my notoriety. So when I started going to places like Fat Beats, that was me trying to be strategic. Like, I'm going to go where I feel people will support independent music. I'm not going to stand in front of like a major chain record store because they're more limited to mainstream artists. I wasn't a mainstream artist. So I figured upon Fat Beats, people that would go there more likely would know who Percee is. They would know Stretch and Barbita shows, the DJ Cliff shows, shows that I actually was on, that they would know and acknowledge me. So I went there. It took years, but it worked because I met a lot of people standing in front of Fat Beats. And also, it helped me preserve my name and legacy, and also allowed artists to meet me somewhere where people could come and more likely they could run into me, meet me in a friendship and develop something, from there. So it was just like a place to come and people to come and meet me, and we could network instead of like an office. I used to actually call it my office. You know what I'm saying? When I was out there, I'm saying, be in my office tomorrow, something like that. But anybody could come, you ain't got to get buzzed in, you just go through, So that I used to just joke around saying that. But people that used to come around me at the time when I was out there, they used to hear me say that a lot, But, so that's basically the Now and Then tapes. I appreciate everybody who ever didn't sleep on Percee P at the time, who didn't undermine me, and just because I was standing on the street, they didn't overlook me. They didn't think of me with no value, you know what I'm saying? and they realized what I was selling. It's like I'm selling myself to you, and I'm glad that greater things happened for me by me holding on and persevering. You know what I'm saying? And those that supported, it was like I won. You know what I'm saying? But they realized, like, yeah, I knew it was something about this guy. I supported him, and now look at him. He went on the Stone Store. He worked on Ad-Lib, but I actually support this guy when he's standing on the street. When some people would have walked by, not acknowledging who I was. And a lot of people got a chance to know who I was when they bought tapes. They did their own research and realized, like, wow, this guy's been around for a while, and all he's doing is preserving his legacy by any means. You know what I'm saying? So it worked for me, and also inspired a lot of people to do the same, you know.
And I got to say as well, the one song off that project that I always thoroughly enjoyed was actually the one that you actually did with Kool Keith and Godfather Don, actually titled "You're Late." So absolutely my favorite song off that project.
Wow. Okay. Well, that song was actually the first recording on Bobito and his label that he started, his Fondling record label. That was the first actual vinyl recordings that he released from that label. It was a project called the Cindy Bites, with Kool Keith, who I just did a song recently with Kool Keith, a new song. So y'all look out for that in the near future. It's coming out like this year sometime. It's just called Street Life, but me, him, and the guy named Fella B from Australia. So shout out to them. But anyway, with the song You're Late, basically it was Kool Keith and Godfather Don. And I want to mention this, and I don't know too many people, but I was the one who bought Ultramagnetic to Stretch and Bobito. Some of the artists that they was playing, they didn't know personally. I knew the whole crew of Ultramagnetic, so I brought them down there, took them. The first time down there, I brought them to the show. So, but Kool Keith and Godfather Don started making these promos that they was making for Stretch and Bobito's show. So Bobito basically, Keith told me one time, yo, Godfather Don want to meet you. We want you to come through, P. You know, and when I went over there, it was just like, I had to stop, do something real quick. My rhyme was short because I didn't pre-write anything. It was just like I got over there and started writing, so we had limited time, so I just dropped what I had, but it still was on, it still made that EP. And also, you know what I'm saying, that Bobito took all those songs and just took them and just pressed them up, and that became the birth of Fondling Records. Those records right there, and then other artists after that started coming out, like I guess Arsonist and even MF Doom, I think, put out something with them, and MF Grimm, and like, so a few other enough reputable name people trying through their life, and other artists, you know what I'm saying? So that itself was like a part of my history that was a big part of Fat Beats at the time, you know.
I got to say, I actually did not know that you actually brought, Ultramagnetic actually to them, man. So that's actually a really cool story, and I hope anyone else that didn't know that actually definitely was paying attention, man. That's some real hip hop history.
Well, even DMX, when DMX was down there for the first time, he was rapping with me. And I known DMX before he was on Columbia and anything. Like, it was a club called The Castle in the Bronx. So every Thursday used to be house party entertainment. That's what they called it. So the guys who used to run that night, every Thursday they would have DJ Kid Capri, the house DJ, and my DJ, Kim. They have them two DJing every Thursday, and the artist that they was managing was like our DJ, Top Priority. That's me and Demetrius Kim. And then they had DMX the Great. That was his name at the time. DMX the Great. Top Quality. He was down. DJ Shabazz, he was part of Masters of Ceremony, that Grand Poobah we used to be down with before Brand Nubians. So they had some artists, you know what I'm saying? And when they had shows, big shows, like, you know, they would have us open up. It would be like opening acts. But that's how DMX known me that far back before he actually made records or anything. So he knew when he saw me, there's footage of on my Instagram page and mentioning that. He's like, yeah, you remember me kicking it? And he was talking about some rhyming and, you know, from the Castle days. And I was like, yeah, the Castle. He said, yeah. And I was somebody who could vouch because he knew that I was there. But he was like, yeah, that's my very first time I've ever had my name on a record, on a flyer, not a record, on a flyer. But him just saying that said a lot about me, how I was around a lot of artists that people know as legends now, but there's a lot that I've been around before they made the fame that they have now, because that's how long I've been in the game trying to keep my name out there myself. So I've been in these circles, open mic circles, and, you know, places where artists will randomly frequently go. And if I'm there all the time, you go regularly, those will be the same artists that are going to blow up in the near future. But if you know them at that time, you'll want to gain a lot of recognition from a lot of different artists, reputable name people in the game. So that's why I think I know a lot of people. I have connections to a lot of different artists, different time periods. But that's because I stayed in hip-hop that long and just kept pushing. And never overlooked grassroots circuits either,
And also, jumping ahead of the timeline a little bit, on January 29th of 2008, you actually released the 14-track album titled Perseverance, the remix that actually was that actually Madlib actually put his phenomenal remix touches on that project. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about that phenomenal album, and of course, what was it like just working with Madlib?
Well, it was great working with Madlib. When I first met them, I actually put that on my IG as well, on my playlist. My YouTube playlist is called Percee P Songs and Features. So Percee P Songs and Features. You go on that, I put a lot of clips, footage from different time periods of shows, and I actually got the footage from the very first time I met Luke Pack. It was in New York. I was selling my cassettes, round-ins, and just walking around selling tapes in my old school tape collection, like I had of the old early pioneers like Cold Crush and Grandmaster Fast Furious 5, L Brothers, Funky 4, Fantastic 5, like live shows like that, Bronx River Center, T Connection, Harlem World, like. So they when they saw what I had, they wanted. So they said, "Wow, okay, how much you sell for?" And I told them, they said, "Okay," and they was like, "Yeah, we're from the West Coast. We have a show at this spot here." And I looked at it and it said New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I said, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll come through," because I used to always go all over my anything that's hip hop oriented, I would show up. So I wound up going, and that's how I met Luke Pack. And before I went, I told him, I said, "Yeah, I'm an artist as well." And they were like, and I said, "I don't know if you ever heard my name, Percee P." And they said, "Oh, Percee P, got me a long collapse of lyrics?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, the Wild Child put out his camcorder." And that footage, he recorded me outside rhyming for him. That footage is the footage you see in their documentary called a Packumentary. So I use that clip on my playlist. So from then, at that very first time, when they met me, they acknowledged who I was, but this is 1999. So they just show you how long we kept the communications. Stone Throw was a young label at the time because they started at like 96. So I stuck with them through those years that they was building, but I still was doing my networking with people like Travis Fiber. So by the time, they put out more records, they put out stuff with Doom, and and then it got to my project, it was like I was still keeping my name out there by any means. But Madlib, he did my first album, and my album took a while to come out. That's why he did the remix, because when I first was recording my album, I forgot the name of the studio. I think it was called Def Con Studio in L.A. And we started recording the whole album there, and then Egon found another studio with this guy named Dave Cooley recording at his house, and he liked the sound that was coming from the house better than Def Con. So he said, "Yo, I want you to re-record the whole album." So I had to start re-recording the song over, and Madlib, I guess, you sitting on something so long, you start experimenting with like the vocals, and that's how he wanted to come in with that remix. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it was good. At first, it was kind of, I was feeling like wow, I got to do this all over. But at the same time, when you look at it now, I actually got 2 projects all produced by Madlib, and you see what Madlib is at nowadays. So in a way, it benefited me too. Just that even half project. If I even never worked with Madlib, because I know he's a very busy person. But even if I never worked with him again, you know what I'm saying? Not that I wouldn't, because that's my man. But it's just that I still at least know I'm a part of that legacy, just like Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say as well, I've always enjoyed Ghetto Rhyme Story, man. I just love how how you guys both put your own twist on that project.
Yeah, and can I say this for a minute?
Oh, most definitely. You have the floor.
He wasn't in the studio when I recorded my project. When I was recording, I'm used to people in the studio, like T-Ray, who produced my Long Class List, and you don't producers in the studio with me when I recorded songs. So Madlib never came to the studio sessions. Egon used to just give me beat CDs and say, pick from these albums, these tracks right here. They were real short loops and stuff, but it wasn't like real long. They would be like a minute long or less. And he'd be like, yo, whatever you want to use, just let me know. And I'd tell Madlib like that. And I'll say, well, so with this beat, and he'd say, okay, I'll get back to you on it. So basically, when I went and recorded my songs, it was like looping with the parts of the beat just to make it a loop, a longer loop, so I could say my whole songs to him. Then he took my acapellas and placed it and then built the songs around it, put cuts and all that stuff. Which when you hear Get Around Stories, it wasn't like the song was formatted. He put the bass line and changed it up and put the cuts. J-Rock is doing the scratches. J-Rock from the legendary Beat Junkies, he's doing the cuts on the album. Only cut I had input on that album, only line is the part on The Last of the Great when Jay Dilla was saying, you better learn to one of the greatest alive. Like I have something that I say, yo, please use that. That's the only thing I would say to add to that album. Everything else, I remember just waiting to hear what he would do. And then he's going to say, okay, this is the rough of the album. Tell me what you think. And I heard it, and it was just like he was speaking for me, too, because I listened to what he was saying with scratches and everything. He knew I was underrated and sometimes slept on, so it would be like he would say little things that I felt like he was speaking for me, finally, like I'm going to let people know what's up. And I listened to what he was saying, and it was like, so it was kind of like I felt like it was worth it, like just being patient. You know what I'm saying?
And I got to say as well, though, man, the fact that people actually slept on Percee P, honestly, it makes me actually kind of wonder some of these individuals, man, because you were such a phenomenal MC, and I'm not just saying that because we're on the phone right now and we're broadcasting worldwide. Like, in my honest opinion, man, you are one of the best MCs to ever grace East Coast hip-hop. So the fact that people even slept on you, I'm telling you, man, they definitely should be kicking themselves in the ass right now.
Well, you know what? I say the same thing. It's not to be cocky, but it's kind of like, I don't know, some people just gravitate towards certain artists that get validated by other people. I felt like people don't really have no excuse, because even when you go on through my stories, when you look on my Instagram stories or Facebook, you see all of my accomplishments. I put that there. That's not everything. I'm on like video game placements, movies. I work with people like Madlib, Dilla, Jurassic Park, I'm a big name artists, Cool Keith, you know, they came on a song with me, rhyming with me. You know what I'm saying? And bands like Connie Price, T-Stones, with a song with Doom, with Heliocentric, which I got another song I got to do for a guy, Jake. He's the bassist from the group Heliocentric, so he got an independent album that he's putting out, and I'm on featured on that song for him. So, but yeah, I work with a lot of people outside of hip-hop, even other genres of music. So I did a lot. Video game placements, all this kind of stuff. And to still be like, I'm still trying to prove myself to people is just something. But there's people that acknowledge that. They see it like, I don't know what it is, like what people waiting to give you applause for, like, you know, but some people, it's like that. There's artists feel like Sean Price, even when he was alive, you hear him say certain things in his rhymes, like people didn't appreciate him almost. Like he knew y'all was sleeping on me. And then when he died is when the appreciation came. Oh, he's one of the greatest. So it was that I don't want to be like that. Like, I'm trying to let you know now. I'm showing it to you now. Whoever's putting all this together, the people who was right about me, I'm giving you the ammunition. So you know what you're talking about when you're talking about Percee. You ain't no, he used to do this. I put links. When you go through my YouTube playlist, I put links and stuff in the comments to give you extra ammunition to validate all the stuff. So all fact checks, everything's there. There's nothing to try to figure this. Even the Lord Finesse footage, that battle already authenticates me, showing you that I've been in the game for a long time. That's 1989. There's footage of it. It's not me telling people I was rapping since 88 and you know, I was rapping since 79. But come on, here's footage of me in 89, battled on Lord Finesse, and he wasn't even out yet when I battled him. You know what I'm saying? But I made a record in 88, Let the Homicides Begin. And when you hear me Let the Homicides Begin, I don't sound like I just started rapping. You know what I'm saying? I don't sound like I just started. So it's just, I don't get it. When people listen, you know, I don't know what they looking for or waiting for. And it's not like I'm disappointed, because I feel I did achieve a lot of great things. in my life. I know places I've been, a lot of places around the world, touring and stuff. So I've been blessed, and I'm still being blessed. But as far as mass exposure and acknowledgement, they haven't hit just yet, like how certain artists just get all this appreciation while they're alive and breathing. Certain artists get that. Tupac was appreciated in his life while he was alive and breathing. MF Doom was, too, but he got more greatly acknowledged after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Sean Price, he was appreciated by the real heads, but now it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody wants to be appreciated while they're alive and breathing, and the accolades and see it and appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate those that appreciate Percee P, which I call my Percee peoples. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
And also, on February 26th of 2019, you actually released a single titled Never Learn alongside Thrust, J.D. Era, and of course, Billy Danze of MOP that I'm going to be playing immediately following this interview. For the listeners that haven't heard this song, what can they expect from it when I actually play it here on the Canadian FM dial?
Just Percee P, spitting, and I forgot, see, that's the song that I've done. Sometimes I do songs and almost forget about certain songs because I do a lot of features, too, so people hit me up for features. So I do a lot of features and stuff, and sometimes it be songs that I forgot, so that's rare that I'm surprised you mentioned that song, you know what I'm saying? I almost forgot, I even did that song, So, yeah, but it's Percee P, classic Percee P, still showing you I got flow, patterns, I'm still witty with the line, and just I'm trying to keep people knowing that I ain't fall off. I don't care. If you didn't hear me and you see my name on something, expect quality lyricism. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want people to just associate me with, quality lyricism. Even if you don't hear nothing, if you just know I'm on it, you try to wait till you hear my part. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you some. So when you play it, we'll see what they think.
But I have to ask, what is next for yourself, Percee P? Because I do know you mentioned earlier on in the interview that yourself and Kool Keith, you have a new song coming out soon.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering, other than that, what is next for yourself?
Also, okay, I'm always constantly working, a lot of features and stuff, but still, I'm working on stuff. I'm actually was trying to keep some stuff in the can, not talk about it too much, because I don't, I'm just slowly, but I have beat like Pete Rock gave me some Easy No B, a few heads, my man Cap, so I have some reputable named people, but I don't want to give it out too much, just talk ahead, but I just mentioned some of the songs, I actually did some songs that's not even something that's my own father's album, but songs that I recorded that's still coming out. Look out for a song called Beastin'. This is out already, but the 45 is about to drop. It's in not too long. So I got the artwork and everything. The 45, vinyl on 45. It's a song called Beastin' from my man, he's from the UK, Mr. Tough Cut. Then I got another song from the guy, my man, Chuck Chiller. He's from the West Coast. We did a song already called Making Music. Percee P and Chuck Chiller, a song called Making Music. He's a producer. He's a live instrument. But he made the beat. So this time he made an acoustic beat, and he called it Acoustic Boom Bap. So that's the name of the song. So look out for that. Look out for the upcoming tour for November and December for all the real Percee peoples out there. You know what I'm saying? Me and Craig G and Elder Sensei from the Artifact, and Craig G from the Legendary Juice Crew. You know what I'm saying? So for Europe and UK though, see, once again, outside this country. You know what I'm saying? So right now we're booking dates and trying to get some bookings. So for anybody out there, just spread the word. And if anybody interested in them, have them hit me back with it. My email is PERCEE308 @gmail, or follow me on my IG, The Real Percee P, on Twitter, The Real Percee P. You know what I'm saying? If you hit me, my email's on all my profiles on my social media. But if you're interested in the booking, and I'll get it to the tour manager, setting up everything, the booking agent. And so if anybody interested in that, I think that's a good package. Percee P, Craig G, and Elder Sensei. But also, I got the merch, like always, side CDs, I got T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. So, yeah, if you go on my playlist, you'll see images of. I made a video images, and I made a video on my playlist, Percee P T-shirts, mention the song I'm doing with Cool Keith and my man Fellow Beast. Look out for that. Afro, the artist Afro. We did something. Look out for that. I'm waiting for him to put that out. It's a dope song we did. Blow 'em Out of the Frame. I'm waiting for that. Another, supposed to be a 12-inch for vinyl. I put on my page just a little teaser, a song called Blow 'em Out of the Frame. So if anybody want to hear that, it's straight. It's a dope song, but that's supposed to be. So I work with cats that's supposed to be putting out stuff, but I'm on their time. So all I can do is just talk about it, and you might hear little teasers, but from what you hear, I didn't fall off. You know what I'm saying? Also, was featured on this German TV series called Almost Fly. They did play one of my songs, a song that I did, new track. So I'm just kind of mentioning that. That's on HBO. You know what I'm saying? So that's a Warner TV series. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the show's called Almost Fly, the German TV series, but I was featured in that. It's one of the first episodes somewhere they played my song in the background. Like I got songs that played in like the Shy that comes on Showtime, my song Legendary Lyricist, that features Madlib. That song was on the episode 6 in season 1. Season 1, episode 6, they played my song Legendary Lyricist. So stuff like that. When you listen to my playlist, Percee P songs and features on YouTube, you'll see those scenes like American Son with Nick Cannon, like a chase scene. So that's what I do. I just compile some of my highlights of my career and put it on my playlist so people can see my accomplishments. So you don't reduce me to things like you just standing in front of Fat B selling mixtapes. I'm an actual professional recording artist, but I choose to do grassroots promotion as well. I don't overlook grassroots hitting streets, and because that's where hip hop started from, the streets first, and I'm from where it all started. So that's why I stand on street corners and push my stuff the old way. You know what I'm saying? And some people will know. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know, that's why I do it. And ain't nothing like meeting people in one-on-one. And that's what I always try to do. Besides the music, I want to have that one-on-one with people where they can have more appreciation. So maybe when they see my music or see me doing big things, they figure that, yeah, I remember I met him. He was over here. He was cool. I stood out there and chopped it up with him from the Fat Beats. So he came out in the club. When he was on tour, he was walking around in the crowd selling stuff, and I copped it from him. And I always did that. I never been the type of person that stayed backstage. I always be out in the audience with the people and chop it up with them and meet the people that might want to come get a picture with me. Instead of staying backstage, you don't have access to get back there. So I come out to the people that can support me. And those that want to network or make something happen, I'm available right there for you to try to make a move or whatever. You get my number or whatever, get my email information, and we'll just take it from there. So that's Percee P. You know what I'm saying?
And also, Percee, it's this time in the interview right quick that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. And I know a few moments ago you just dropped your email and your Instagram, but if you can, drop all your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you all across the board.
Okay. My email is Percee308 at Gmail. So that's Percee 308 at gmail.com. Percee 308 at gmail.com. But I put that email right on the profile of my Instagram and Twitter, which is The Real Percee P. So TheRealPerceep. So The Real Percee P on Instagram, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Facebook too. My name is John Simon, but you put Percee P, it'll come up. So, social media platform, TikTok, The Real Percee P. And yeah, people reach out to me and try to make something happen. Stay tuned. If you follow me on social media, you'll see what I'm doing. I'll just keep you abreast of everything that's going on. So I think it's best, if you really want to know, just follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because every time I make a post, it'll alert you, and you'll see what I'm doing. And you won't have to do what you've been up to, but it'll be like you'll get the notification. Sometimes I'm sitting on things too that I even be driving footage that I've done a long time. Never seen footage, tour bus footage, whatever. I have all this kind of stuff and tours and stuff like that, stone stuff, and all this stuff needs to be uploaded. But recently I've been just grabbing little pieces here and there and putting it online. Different artists that you acknowledge of me. You know what I'm saying? Giving praise and props to me. So stuff stuff like that. People that I might not even made a song with, but just showing you that how I'm acknowledged by these people too. You know what I'm saying? So for the fans, you know what I'm saying? For the Percee people out there. But hopefully y'all got that and y'all hit me up, and hopefully I'll see after we do this interview, I'll get some responses in my emails or, or DMs on IG. And yeah, for those out there that's trying to do something or make something happen, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see what it is, and we'll try to make some more history.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Percee, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time yet again, man, and just sliding in to the 97.7 FM radio dial, man. It was such an honor and such a tremendous honor to be able to interview such a phenomenal East Coast MC, man. I hope down the line we can actually go for the trifecta and make it a third time again.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. And definitely, I look forward to it again, just, updates and stuff. And I definitely appreciate you giving me the opportunity to reach out to the people that appreciate me. You know what I'm saying? So, one love, and you just keep doing your thing, and I'll keep supporting you, too, man.
Hey, man, the same goes for you as well, man. Thank you so much, Percee, and definitely have yourself a wonderful weekend as well. I'm pretty sure we definitely shall talk some more down the line.
Okay, and you too. Thank you. Appreciate it.